As deputy headmistress, Aunt Matilda has every right to stay and watch the teams practice. I was only keeping her company,
Gareth said.
You had your eyes on me the whole time. I could feel it.
Agrius furrowed his brow. Gareth realized that he got caught staring. He confessed.
You're an awesome player to watch.
Yes.
Agrius said, and looked away. There was an uncomfortable silence. If Gareth was expecting Agrius to return the compliment, he could wait forever. Since Agrius was not saying anything, Gareth made another attempt at conversation.
Are your parents here with you?
No.
Agrius said.
Oh, that must be rough,
said Gareth.
It's your very first time as team captain.
It's fine,
said Agrius. Gareth looked up at the sky and said,
It's windy, isn't it?
Yes.
Agrius replied. They leaned against the wall together, side by side. Agrius turned his head to look at Gareth. He was very interesting to look at. His cheeks were covered in freckles. His eyes shone like emeralds. His orange hair was almost fluorescent, and his curls were bouncy. His pink lips moved.
Next year, the Quidditch Championship is going to be in Devon, my home county.
Agrius decided to make an effort, since Gareth seemed so determined to talk to him. He made eye contact and asked,
Is Devon more exciting than Hogsmeade?
Gareth laughed.
Devon? I think Devon is brilliant. More pubs, more shops, more people.
Was that your father I saw earlier?
Agrius asked.
Yeah, he came all the way from Devon. He wouldn't miss seeing me leading a team.
Gareth replied proudly.
Nice for you,
said Agrius.
Yeah, I know. He's great.
Gareth smiled. Agrius didn't have anything to add to that, so he stayed silent.
I should probably go. They're waiting for me,
Gareth said. He moved away from the wall and turned to face Agrius. Agrius's eyes went right to those damn freckles. Gareth stuck out his hand.
Good luck in the game,
he said. Agrius accepted the handshake and grinned.
You will not be so friendly when we beat you.
That's not happening,
Gareth chuckled. Agrius knew that Gareth truly believed that. Agrius believed that he's the one who was going to win the game and be the #1 draft pick because he was the goddamn prince of Quidditch. Maybe Gareth expected Agrius to wish him luck as well. But Agrius just dropped his hand and left the pitch. That evening, on their way to the London Stadium, Gareth told his dad that he had been talking to Agrius Malfoy.
What is he like?
His dad asked.
Just as pompous and self-righteous as any other Malfoy,
Gareth replied. His dad nodded in understanding. He knew Agrius's father, Alciones Malfoy, who was no different. When the final round of Quidditch was over, the Gryffindor team had to suffer one more humiliation. The Slytherins stopped celebrating long enough to line up so the teams could shake each other's hands. A show of sportsmanship that, at the moment, Gareth did not feel in his heart. For one thing, the Slytherin team had played dirty. Gareth had hated playing against them. For another thing, Agrius Malfoy was incredibly good. Infuriatingly good. And over the course of the game, the media had put a lot of effort into building up their rivalry. Gareth tried to ignore the press, but it was possible that they were stoking the flames of his hatred. When he reached Agrius in the handshake lineup, he could see camera flashes all around them. He made sure he looked at Agrius right in the eye when he tersely said,
Congratulations.
Agrius smirked and said,
I wish you played Quidditch. Have you ever heard of this sport? It's fun.
They hung a silver medal around Gareth's neck that may as well have been a dead rat for all he wanted it. Gareth respectfully endured the changing of all the banners to green, blinking back frustrated tears that he refused to let fall. And then he was finally allowed to leave the stadium. It wasn't supposed to have gone like this. He was supposed to have led the Gryffindor team to victory in London. It was what his house had expected. The legacy of Godric Gryffindor had been heaped onto his 17-year-old shoulders, and he had let the Gryffindors down. Every face-off he had taken against Agrius, the Slytherin had looked him dead in the eye and smirked. Gareth was not easily shaken by anyone, but that goddamn smirk threw him off balance every time. Maybe it was just that. Gareth was a Quidditch captain after all, and he was playing against a Slytherin captain. Gareth was sure that was all it was. Chapter 2. June 1892, Massachusetts.
Gareth, could you move a little closer to Agrius, please?
Asked the photographer with a thick American accent. Gareth felt Agrius Malfoy's arm brush against his as he stepped closer to him for the photographer, who then said,
That's perfect! All right, smile, boys!
Gareth's eyes were bombarded with camera flashes. He stood pressed against Agrius, who seemed to be enjoying it. To Agrius's right was an Ilvermorny Quidditch player named Harlan Sanders, who was drafted 3rd overall by the United States Quidditch League. Gareth was drafted 2nd overall by the British Quidditch League, and Agrius had been drafted 1st by the rest of the world, as a conglomerate of countries. Gareth had spent his entire 6th year, since the game in London, being obsessed with Agrius Malfoy. He and Agrius had quite a bit in common career-wise. They were both the captains of their respective teams, and they had both been personally invited by the Minister of Magic from the Magical Congress of the United States of America to play against the Ilvermorny Quidditch team. Agrius and Gareth had both been named League and Playoff Most Valuable Players, and they both had been the scoring leaders of their respective leagues. The only difference between them was that Gareth had a silver medal, whereas Agrius had a gold one. And now Gareth had come in 2nd place again in the sorting for the advertising campaigns. It wasn't all bad. Gareth had been offered a 100-galleon endorsement contract with an American sportswear company. Agrius signed a 1,000-galleon deal with an international luxury hotel brand who was paying for the prestige of being associated with the Malfoy name, but Agrius was not bothered. He only cared that his paycheck was bigger than Gareth's. Gareth tried to look at the positive side. The Weasleys could do with the money, plain and simple. Teaching and farming weren't exactly money spinners, and this way, Aunt Matilda and his parents could get to see the world. Gareth smiled. He really loved his family. With these feelings in his heart, he approached Agrius and stuck out his hand.
Congratulations, Malfoy,
he said. There was a definite smugness in Agrius's smile when he said,
Thank you, Weasley.
Agrius didn't congratulate Gareth. Instead, he patted Gareth's shoulder, as if he was consoling a child who had struck out at Little League. Gareth jerked away from his touch, and was about to say something that was decidedly less polite than congratulations, but they were both immediately pulled away in opposite directions for interviews. Gareth didn't see Agrius again until he was back at the hotel. The lobby was packed with athletic young men in suits. But even in that crowd, Agrius stood out. He was one of the tallest men there, and he polished up well. With his dark navy suit hugging his body, he looked like a fashion model. Gareth felt short. He had turned 18 last month, but he felt like a kid. Agrius had turned 18 too just last week, which Gareth knew because he was obsessed with Agrius. That night, in his private hotel room, Gareth couldn't sleep. It had been an exhausting day. And yes, he had signed an advertising contract. He was a breadwinner. And having a smaller paycheck than Malfoy was nothing to sulk about. He wasn't sulking. Not really. He was just bothered by something he couldn't describe. He sighed and rolled out of bed. He threw out some sweats and sneakers from his sponsor's sportswear bag and put them on, then headed down to the hotel gym. Maybe he could shut his mind off with some exercise.